The other thing that we like about this group is half of them are coming in mid-year. So, we're going to get, a whole extra semester to work with these guys and, maybe get more of them ready to play next year. And they will have probably more of an opportunity than most freshman groups because of how many guys are leaving the program.
What were some of the keys to holding on to so many of these guys, through late efforts from other programs to try to kind of swipe them from you guys?
Well, Les, I just think we're, a lot of these guys have been committed to us for 8 months, 9 months. And I think when you build relationships with players, I think the fact that our facilities now are competitive with almost everybody in the ACC, we've been to 7 straight bowl games. I think all those things make it harder for a player to leave, unless there's just an overwhelming name, image, likeness package that they get offered. And, some of them certainly got offered that. But again, I still think there's value in our degree. Our scholarship is $85,000, $90,000 a year scholarship. And it's a, $350,000 education. And I think for a lot of the guys that we recruit, the reason they pick us is in part the value of the degree. So more often than not, we usually hold on to most of the class. I think every year it seems like we lose one guy late. That seems to be the number every year. There's one guy that kind of shocks us late, and that happened again this year 2 nights ago. But that's recruiting. So we feel good about who we have, and those things have a tendency to usually work out for the best anyways.
Now, I don't believe that Charlie Gillum is an early enrollee. And if that's the case, then do you have any concerns about having enough depth at the quarterback position? Or is that a spot you might look in the portal to find some depth?
No, we're not going to look in the portal for a quarterback. We feel really, really good about Mitch Griffiths. Michael Kern is coming back for an extra year. And we love Michael. We moved Santino Marucci back to quarterback the last month, and he's really looked good. He's had a really good month, a much better month than he had when he first got here in the spring. So, we always would like to be at around 4 quarterbacks. Again, I think we feel very good where we are with the first 2, and we'll continue to invest reps in Santino. And we got Charlie coming in, in the fall. So no, we're not going to look into the portal.
In terms of both the portal and the late signing period, what are some of the gaps you need to fill, you think?
Probably mostly on defense. I think, we'd love to get a defensive tackle in the portal. We'd love to find a linebacker with some experience. And, you can never have enough guys who can cover people. So with losing 2 guys, we only lost 2 guys on defense in the portal, but those 2 guys played the same position. And so we signed 2, I think, good cover guys this year, in Antonio Robinson and Travion West. But that's a position we certainly would like to get a player or 2. We could even take 2 cover guys with where we're at.
Dave, kind of keeping on the cornerbacks, can you give us a little bit about what you saw with Trayvon West and Antonio Robinson, who I think is the highest rated signing you guys have landed in Wake Forest history so far?
I'm sorry that you broke up a little bit at the end there, Cam.
Oh, I was just saying, can you give us a little bit about Antonio Robinson and Trayvon West? And I think Antonio is the highest rated guy on the defense you guys have landed so far.
Again, we liked both those guys. We think they're athletic. They have good cover skills. Antonio has really good ball skills as well. He had a really good year as a receiver this year. He has return skills. And so, we just really wanted to get some DBs that had ball skills. If you look at how many big plays we've given up this year, we're in position, but our lack of ability to make a play on the ball really hurt us. And so Antonio and Trayvon both have ball skills. Trayvon is a longer kid that I think will really develop, and we like both those guys. So, we offered Trayvon early, very early. We thought we were going to get him in the summer. He then committed to another school. And then, I think when it was all said and done, he really didn't want to be that far away from home. And he called us up, and we still had a spot, and we were excited he came back to us.
There's always some questions about a guy like Micah Mays. Same thing that there was about Wesley Grimes coming in early and trying to make an impact early. Is he someone that you expect to be, someone ready year one, or what's kind of the line of expectations of he's a good player, but he's also young?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of our players, when they're ready to play, they'll play. And once they get here, how many stars they had in recruiting doesn't matter. So we're very excited about him. We're also just really excited about Deuce Alexander. Both of those guys we think are great fits for our offense. So we'll get them here. We'll see how quickly they pick things up. And that's a position that strength, development, and the ability to block and the ability to make contested catches, sometimes that's where those guys struggle because our league is physical. So if they can come in and do that, and learn the offense, they'll play. If not, we'll redshirt them. So we'll, that has all to be unfolded and discovered here in the next 9 months.
You mentioned star ratings not mattering once they get on campus. Speaking of that, and I know you love recruiting rankings. This is the highest rated class in your tenure, Dave. Does it feel like it's the best class you've had? Like, do your evaluations personally line up to what the recruiting services are saying?
I didn't know this was the highest rated recruiting class we had until you just shared that with me. So I always say, Les, we'll let you know in 2 or 3 years whether it turns out to be the case. I would say this, that in recruiting, since we've been winning and since we got the new facilities, it seems like we can win a lot more battles and we hold on to more guys late. And we don't win every battle, but when we put our recruiting board together, we're getting more players at the top of that board than we've ever gotten before. And for the most part, we've held on to them. And now we got to get them here and develop them and, get them bigger, stronger, and all those things that happen in a college football program.
Dave, in terms of the football game, is there anything new that developed over the last 24 hours in terms of getting ready for Missouri?
Not really, which is good news. So we've had 2 good practices down here. We had practice at Carrollwood Day School yesterday, and it was really nice of them. And then I'm on it. And today, a Wake Forest alum, Michael Kelly, the athletic director at USF, allowed us to practice on their fields.
Anything else for Coach, guys? All right, Coach, I think we're all good.
Thanks,
okay,
man.
thank you guys. Yeah, appreciate your
Appreciate
coverage and look forward to seeing you after. I don't have anything tomorrow, do I, Will?
No, we're good.
I mean,
Good.
I'm flying in tonight, so we have to do something tomorrow, Dave. We got
anything you want, Les, right? We are the most media-friendly Power 5 program in the country. So anything for you and the media. So, but look forward to seeing you Friday after the game. Go Deeks.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach Lambert. I appreciate your time. Just what do you expect to see from this Missouri offense Friday afternoon? You're muted, Brad.
Coach, you're on mute.
Yeah, got it. You good? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think the number one thing is they really want to run the ball, and they want to put you in positions where they can out leverage you. But they like to run the ball, and their quarterback's extremely fast. So he creates a problem for you from a quarterback run standpoint. And anytime you have that, you got to commit the extra guy. And so that's the thing that concerns me the most is we got to stop the run. And then, the thing we've struggled with this year that we got to continue to harp on the guys about is not giving up the big play in the pass game. We're going to try to limit that as much as we can. So I think those are the two things that we've really emphasized to our guys.
When you talk about things that have kind of troubled your defensive unit at times this season, is this a 3 or 4 week period of time where you look at things from a macro level, Brad, or is it more of just attacking Missouri right now?
Well, a little of both. Obviously, your game plan just really trying to stop Missouri, and attack them. But you have to look back because things that have hurt you, and if they've hurt you a couple of times, then there's a good chance you're going to see it again, some form or fashion. So we kind of struggle with some trick plays in the alumni, what I call the alumni zone, right when the ball crosses the 50. There's some plays in there that Louisville hit us on, North Carolina hit us on, Duke hit us on one. So that's been a point of emphasis, obviously, for us because they could repeat those situations.
I know you've lost a couple of cornerbacks to the transfer portal, but on the flip side, you have to be pretty excited to get Malik Mustafa back on the field Friday, right?
Yeah, really, really impacts our defense to have Malik back and really have Kalen back full tilt. Kalen's been struggled all year at corner with that hamstring, so I really feel good about where he is. And then having Malik back just gives you added depth and allows you to do some things with Evan Slocum, whether that be a nickel or safety. So he gives us a lot of flexibility having Malik back. And like I said, Deshaun Jones going to have to play good for us. He'll have to step up. Isaiah Wingfield, those guys are going to have to step up because we are short a couple guys out there.
Is this one of those games where we're getting pressure and attacking at the point with the defensive line is going to be really important for what you guys want to do?
Yeah, I think creating havoc's real critical. Those guys up front have our guys up front have really done a good job this year of creating havoc. That's something that we keep track of is, what's our havoc rating each week. And our D-line has really done a good job of that. And that's what we said from day one coming in. That's what we want out of those guys. And I think lost yardage plays in this game are going to be big. And then the other thing we got to improve on, is third down. We started out the year pretty good on third down. And then just at the end of the year here, the last, 5-6 games, we haven't done really well on third down. We've got to improve that percentage because we've had some teams in really advantageous down and distance situations, and we haven't taken advantage of it.
And across that defensive line, I'm sorry, Eddie, I'll shut up here in a second. Across that defensive line, you're going to have a group of guys who are going to be likely playing their final game as a Demon Deacon. How do they kind of approach that mentally, getting ready for the last time suiting up? And do you think they'll have a little bit more chip on their shoulder because of that?
Well, I hope so. That's the whole point. I'm riding the bus here with Rondell and, you guys that are going through it for the last time. And, those are always things you want to create that good memory at the end. And so they've had a good couple weeks here of work. And, Rondell's finally getting back to full speed. Those inside pieces of COVID. Sorry about that. We're about to get in a wreck. So all those guys really to watch them prepare the last, month of the season. And now they know it's coming to an end. And it's always the tough part of it, right? You want to finish strong and do well, but there's always an end point there and develop relationships with people. And that's always the hard part as they move on.
Coach, is there a team that you can look back at that you played this year offensively that Missouri kind of reminds you of, that you can take something from those games?
Oh, wow. I kind of go back to Liberty, with the empties and unbalanced and quarterback run stuff. Some things we did there, some things they did. And that's probably as close. This quarterback can really run. He's really creates problems for you because of his speed. He's similar to Duke's quarterback. I don't know. Wait to see if we get live and in person. I think Duke's quarterback's really good, throws it well. Even Drake May, he's a guy that made a lot of plays with quarterback draws. That's a similarity to what we'll see this week with Missouri. So there's some things that we've looked back at that I think there's some similarities. But I just the quarterback is just I think is really a good player for them and makes them go with his ability to outrun you. So that's probably the similarities.
And Coach, you talked about having these extra weeks to get prepared. How valuable has that time been, do you think? And have you seen that on the field or the practice field?
That's huge. I mean, that's the whole benefit of playing well during the season, putting yourself in a bowl game and having the opportunity to practice extra football. You have extra time to develop young guys that are redshirting or guys that don't play a lot that are maybe, that you're counting on for the next year. So you have the ability to do that. And then you just have the ability to play more football. And I think the more you play, the better. I always kind of look back to when I was at Marshall. We were 1AA at the time, FCS, and we went to the national championship 4 times. Well, we played the equivalent of 5 seasons in 4 because we had 4 extra games every year. So it just it's like compound interest. It just kind of adds up for you from a rep standpoint for everybody in the program. You still there?
You guys all good with Brad? Yeah, you guys
I
all
think
good
we're
with
good,
Brad?
Brad. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
thank you, Brad.
Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank
All right, guys, we are